Hello everybody, it's June 2019, so this is another monthly update video in which I'll talk about what we've got coming up this month and what you might have missed in the month of May that just finished up. Very busy month for me, by the way. I always like to begin by highlighting three big things, so with no further ado, big thing number one, I've got a new video premiere later this month. I'm continuing that series on advice for people carrying out self-directed study. This time I'll be talking about Stoic philosophy, so that's big thing number one. Big thing number two, I'm going to try something a little bit different in my Study with Sadler Teachable Academy. I'm going to create what they call an email class where you can sign up and get emails day to day with a little bit of philosophical content, some things that I've developed in the past. Maybe you'll find it interesting. You can find the link to that down below for the Teachable Academy, and you'll see, announcements about that in social media when it comes out. Third big thing happening right here in Milwaukee later on this month, I will be giving a paper at the Aristotle and the Aristotelian Tradition Conference at Marquette University. So if you're in the area and you want to see me talk about something that I've given a lot of thought to, thumos, that is the spirited or irascible element within us, I'm going to be there, and you can find the link for that below in the video description as well. All right, so let's talk about May. It was a busy month as we geared up for my kids coming here for the summer, and classes were coming to an end. I also had a few events, the Philosophers in the Midst of History. We had our session number 14, believe it or not, for a quarterly series on Thomas Aquinas, the Mendicant Orders, and the High Middle Ages. That was a lot of fun. You see the video, link to that below. We also continued our Worlds of Speculative Fiction with a really great series by Tanith Lee, and I'm smiling a little bit because I'm thinking about some of the crazy reactions to it. So Tanith Lee wrote this series called the Flat Earth series, and she wrote it back when, I think people had realized that the flat earth theories were more or less debunked. And she wasn't writing it for a time like ours in which somehow they're on the comeback. So there were quite a few thumbs down on the video, I think, from people just seeing the title, not realizing that it's actually a fantasy series set in a flat earth and has nothing to do with the flat earthers out there. And then some people chimed in on it with comments, trying to make sure that I knew that the earth wasn't flat. So clearly people need to pay more attention to what video is going on and read video descriptions. What else did we have? Our usual AMA or Ask Me Anything session. We had our Hegel sessions, philosophy chat for Patreon supporters. I did a philosophy pop-up on YouTube about my existentialism class that's going on. What else? Classes finished up. Marquette, Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, and even MATC all finished up in May. They were kind of staggered, so I actually began my first summer class with Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design, an online 6-week existentialism class that I'm currently teaching, before my Milwaukee Area Technical College class, Intro to Philosophy, finished up. So it was kind of a weird topsy-turvy time. A lot of teaching going on, and I've been gearing up for even more over this summer. What else? Videos. I've been shooting a lot of core concept videos on existentialist thinkers and texts that I use for my online class. So you've probably seen some of the Rainer Maria Rilke, Letters to a Young Poet, videos coming out, the Fyodor Dostoevsky, Notes from the Underground, some stuff on Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra coming out recently, and of course more content on Jean-Paul Sartre's Existentialism is a Humanism. And we did videos for the events as well, the Thomas Aquinas, the Tanith Lee talk, the AMA session. I got a little bit of podcasting done, but not as much as I would have liked. I didn't manage to get Hegel videos done. unfortunately, this month, so that's another month without getting those. I've been kind of stuck in the spirit section for a while, but I did get some writing done. Some of it in Orexis Dianoetike, my main blog. I've continuing, of course, editing Stoicism Today, which is a good bit of work. And I've been doing some academic writing. I reviewed a paper for a journal, and I've been working on my paper for the Aristotle conference coming up. It's not quite where I want it to be yet, but we'll see what happens. I've got another 20 days or so to really whip it up into shape. So that's what went on during the month of May. So we've got a lot of cool stuff coming up this month of June that we're already a little bit into. Coming up this Saturday, that's June 8th at 12 p.m. Central Time. All times are going to be Central, so make sure you check your time zone. We'll start with the AMA, that's Ask Me Anything session. And I've decided this time I'm going to give priority to questions that haven't been asked. So if people are asking questions about Nick Land or Jordan Peterson or Zizek, I'm probably going to skip over those this time. I'll announce that at the start. I'm looking for more questions about things that people haven't asked me in the past or that I think are more interesting. That same day at 2 p.m., we'll be having our Patreon exclusive half-hour Hegel session. That's a perk for my Patreon supporters of the project. On the 11th, that's a Tuesday, at 5 p.m., we'll have our public half-hour Hegel Q&A and discussion session. That's open to anybody who wants to come. Online event. You want to ask me about Hegel, you want to talk about idealism, you want to talk about philosophy, you go right on ahead. On the 13th, here locally at the Brookfield Public Library, that's a Thursday night, 7 p.m., we will be having our next session in the Worlds of Speculative Fiction series. That is on Piers Anthony's XANTH novels. We're going to talk about the first 5 of the 30-plus novels that he wrote, and so that should be a fun time. Then on the 22nd, which is a Saturday at 12 p.m., we'll be having the video premiere for the next, that is the third entry in the advice about self-directed study, this time about Stoicism. It's a video premiere. If you want to get in on it, you'll be the first people watching it. I'll be there in real time answering questions, responding to comments, that sort of thing. It's a lot of fun. Also on the 22nd at 3 p.m., we will have our Patreon exclusive philosophy chat. That's video conferencing with me directly. That's a perk for some of my supporters of my main Patreon. And then finally, we finish up the month on the 27th at 6 p.m. at the Shorewood Public Library with our Stoic Fellowship meeting. That's a local meeting here of people interested in Stoicism. We're going to be talking about Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, Book 3, and talking about our attempt to apply the sort of practice that he outlines at the very beginning of Book 2 and what effects it had and whether it worked for us or whether it didn't work for us. So that's all the events coming up. I mentioned that I'll have a email class coming out later this month. You want to look at my social media. Obviously, that's my Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Those are the main social media. Maybe I'll put an announcement in a video as well. That's an idea for a class that'll sort of trickle out. Each day you get an email about the topic. I haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to have the class center on. I might do an intro to philosophy. I might do an introduction to Stoicism. I might do something about anger. I might do something about philosophical traditions. We'll see, right? But that's coming up, and that'll be available for the general public. I'm in the middle of teaching a 6-week online existentialism class with my Milwaukee Institute of Art and Design students. And next week, actually not quite a week away, I start another class with Milwaukee Area Technical College, a 7-week online Introduction to Ethics class. So I'm developing a lot of new content for that because all of my classes are mostly my content. I'm also still building out the business ethics class for Marquette University, which starts in July. Really popular class. I've had students emailing me asking to get in. I don't let them in. Classes are capped, and that's that. And then I'm also working on a few other initiatives that have to do with fall classes as well. In addition to that, I've got a full load of client meetings and some consulting work and things like that. And I'm doing my bit for Stoicism Today. I recently wrote a piece in Stoicism Today that we're going to have a follow-up to this coming month. Video work. I'm doing a lot of filming, some of it for these classes, but I'm going to also get in some other stuff as well. So you can look forward this month to seeing core concept videos on Nietzsche's Thus Spoke Zarathustra coming out, more core concepts on Gabriel Marcel and the ontological mystery. And depending on what the schedule's like, you might see the Camus myth of Sisyphus ones coming out, or those might be in July. I'm hoping to get to shooting my half-hour Hegel videos again, in part because I don't want to be bogged down in this section, the last portion of spirit, morality, forever. There's the self-directed study video, of course, that'll be coming out. Look to Facebook for the premiere stuff, because I always post my events in Facebook. I'm hoping to get some book review videos done this month as well. And I'm going to be doing a lot of other shooting video for the online classes that may not appear right away, but will be going into other online classes that I'm developing in the Teachable Academy, which you can sign up for once I open them up to the general public. Doing a good bit of writing this month as well. I mentioned that there's the Aristotle conference. So my paper for that conference is on thumos, or this spirited, irascible, passionate element within us in the Platonic and Aristotelian traditions, but I'll also be talking about the Stoic tradition as well, and some other thinkers who kind of straddle the boundaries between those, like Cicero or Galen. So there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff. I might film it, I might not. We'll see what happens. It really depends on the conference organizers and what the logistics look like. Some of these old school scholars don't really like seeing video cameras in the room. They get a little nervous about that. Doing some other writing as well. I mentioned Stoicism Today. I'll be doing some writing in Rexus Dia Noetike, hopefully in Heavy Metal Philosopher. I should mention too, we got to go see Judas Priest and Uriah Heep last month, and that was a big highlight as well. And we're going to see Tiger Night at Pride just this coming week. That's a band that my kids really love, and they're a lot of fun too. It's sort of a glam punk metal band from the local area. What else? Podcasting. So my child, Matt, a.k.a. Tosha, is going to be helping me out with that. We'll see how many podcast episodes get done, but it'll be a hell of a lot more than what I'm able to do myself. So I think you can look forward to that. That's really great, because then I can also use those in classes too. And then the rest of the time, I've already got this packed schedule. The rest of the time I'm spending with my kids. I'm probably not going to take on any new client work this month. I'll push it off to next month because I want to be able to spend some time here in Milwaukee. We've got lots of great music festivals and hiking and, going to the museums and, getting to hang out and just teaching them how to cook good dishes and stuff like that. So that's what's lined up for me this month. I hope that you have a great first month of summer, and hopefully I'll see some of you either face-to-face in the events here in the Milwaukee area or in some of the online events.